All right, y'all. Before we begin, prepare your ears to listen. Your heart to receive as you take in the words that look to change lives and renew the hearts and open minds. Welcome to the Door of Expansion, where I am your host, Anthony Hubbard, the founder and owner of Speak to My Heart Life Coaching. And just in case if you don't know what a life coach is, it's just as I'm an accountability partner. More than anything, I'm here to help you achieve the goals in which you are seeking more than anything. And I'm gonna let my co-host, Miss Stephanie, introduce herself.
Hello. That's not COVID. Um, I am
I hope not.
Anthony's co-host, Stephanie Hollins Passport. I'm provisionally licensed marriage and family therapist, mental health counselor, practicing in the Pacific Northwest. Here in Washington State, I am the sole practitioner for the Narrative Shift LLC, counseling and consultation. I realize that no two people are the same, and such tailor my therapy to meet their specific needs, whether they're struggling with anxiety, depression, or any other issue. I help recognize underlying problems, fully realize their strengths, and adjust certain behaviors and thoughts to see things in a different, healthier way. So yeah, my practice specializes. I treat individuals, couples, and families, and I offer services focused on trauma-informed care. So that's what I do.
I do all this stuff right here.
you know, it's just a little something, just a little bit about me and what I do.
I know. Maybe I need to start saying what I do. We
I
get,
know.
we get to that next time. Let's jump on to this topic, this
Uh-huh.
relationship thing. You know,
Yeah.
so you know what? Go ahead and put your disclaimer out first.
We are not relationship experts. Okay.
So we are putting that out there, but uh, us both being married for the better part of 20 plus years, there
Mm-hmm.
are certain things that we have seen, and I put myself what I've said and done, prior to getting married and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course through research and then talking with other people, we get to hear some of these conversations, especially within our practices. So with that being said, the first when we started talking about and the title of this show was research and development. And the reason why I, came up with that theme with this relationship topic was if you don't do your research, how is something ever gonna ever develop? We always have the old mantra of stop, look, and listen whenever we used to tell our kids whenever they had to cross the street or something. So in a relationship or building into a relationship, it's just the same thing to me. You got
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, the old saying is you have to whenever somebody tell you something, you best believe that's what it is. And sometimes we need to stop, slow it down a little bit, look and listen to what somebody is saying. So
Gotta
just
pay
to get
attention to those red flags, those warning signs, and often we just tend to look right over them.
and the reason why we look over them is because we trying to see the good or the value in something more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's gonna bring us into our first thing whenever we start talking about expectations and date in this dating scene. So we always I guess kind of kick people out whenever we start thinking about expectations. If you never discuss expectations, how in the world can you say, "Oh, this person right here, I expected them to do this right here"? Well, if that person don't know what you were expecting, how are they gonna perform that? And then like, we gonna break it down to a dating scene.
Okay.
All right, so we on the first date,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Where we
know
at though? Where we at?
we sharing fries. We sharing fries at a popular chain restaurant that's probably everywhere in the nation.
Okay.
One, when we, hey, I'm not gonna mention any names, but they might have some golden arches.
Okay.
Whatever restaurant that is, McDonald's, McDowell's, it's one of them.
Is
So
one of them.
yeah, it's one of them.
The other place where you don't get it your way.
All right, hold on. Now I'm gonna answer this. We got a comment real quick.
Do we?
Yes, Miss Ann Wise. Yes, and they show you what they do or do not do. Very true. And that right there is where this is going to lead to with this question right here. And please, people, if you're online, we wanted this to be like an interactive show with questions, with comments, with answers,
We need to
because
hear from you
yeah,
because
we
we've
really
been
want to
out of
hear.
the game for a while.
So we really want to hear everybody on this topic right here. But when is it? When are you an exclusive couple? That's gonna be the first question that that uh that I would like to ask people. What makes you exclusive? And when I mean exclusive, because when I say exclusive, I would really mean you that one-on-one
Monogamous.
person. Yeah, because I think that right there, when you start talking about expectations,
Mhm.
if we don't talk about it, shoot, we can be going on a date for, we can be going out for 3 weeks, and one person thinking, oh yeah, this my boo, this the one, and the other person over there like, hey, I'm over with this person, I got this person, I got this person,
Yeah,
and next thing you know, relationship is ruined. So that for the people that's out there listening, you know, what do you consider? What do you consider, or when do you consider that exclusiveness? And
definitely not a first date. I don't even know if we should be having that conversation at all. Not on a first date.
what kind of conversation should be held on the first date?
Kind of light, superficial. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is your moment to like. I consider dating as an interview.
Okay.
We're still in an interview process. Like, like HR. Like, I'm just now picking up your resume and I'm looking over it. That's the first date. I'm looking over the resume because I ain't even considered if I'm gonna put you what pile I'm gonna put you in to review further or the trash. Like, so that's where we are
Okay.
with a
All right.
first date.
So whenever you start talking like that right there, does that first date, whenever you thinking about the location where y'all went to, is all that considered?
Not necessarily. I mean, if a guy were to take me to like the Golden Arches for a first date, that's, I mean, mm, it depends on if we gonna share a meal there or I get my separate meal. If he talking about, girl, you can just let's just get a happy meal today, like, or even if he was to say like, this is all I have to offer right now, like I don't get paid till Friday or something, or like I just wanted to go grab a burger with you, or maybe that's a test
To find out where exactly you are, or
with
how you think.
yeah with my mindset, or we could be pulling through the drive-through and he'd be like, psych, I was just joking, like I'm gonna take you somewhere nice. I don't know what would be just considered nice. Some people think Red Lobster, what's another place,
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. But to
Yeah.
me, like, I don't even eat seafood or I don't like spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah.
See, we had another comment. Miss Edwards put sounds right, and then Miss Wise put you have to be careful on that first date. It's real and not fickle. You have to be real, but know how real to be. Yeah, I because like we had mentioned earlier, you just can't jump up and say, "So, do you plan on having kids? How do you feel about kids?"
Hmm.
Well, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about them. And then it'd be
Yeah.
like, well, how do you feel about having kids with me?
It's like,
I
you know what?
I don't even know your blood type. I don't know what's going on in your family. I don't know nothing. And you talking about having kids with me? We got some problems already.
It's like, can I get the check? I'm gonna
Okay,
use the restroom.
so all right, so let's say we get past the first dates, we had a few dates, and then we still talking about expectations and
Mhm.
doing that research and stuff. One, during those time periods, of course, you always have to look to find out how that person is treating everybody else around them, because we start talking about them red flags and them warnings. If this person is driving down the street and then they flipping everybody else and cussing them out because they mad, that's a flag right there. Because if they all do have that union, what's gonna happen? That's gonna be you. But a lot of people don't see that. Because it's like that hindsight 2020. Be like, dang, on the first two dates, that person, that's how they was treating me. Oh well, that's how they was treating everybody else, and I didn't even pay attention to it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
that's like the purpose of dating. It's getting to know one another, like being able to cue in on that person, paying attention to their behaviors, their words, speech. Like, do they have negative self-talk? Are they one of those negative Nancy's, or um, or do they speak life? Like, those are the little things that you pay close attention to, you know.
and you see, that's why it's put on there. The first date might not include eating. What if you're hiking or walking just to share time and to get to know each other? And that right there, I think, whenever we really started breaking, going into these different barriers, that's one of the things that we can see. What other things are out there besides these little small common things. So, if you out there walking or hiking or something like that, and y'all share that passion, you have to, because you start thinking after a while, this is some of the things that you can relate back to. A lot of
Mhm.
people is built, especially the world we live in, it's very sexual world. So, whenever we start talking about, hey, this person right here, they can do whatever they can in the bedroom, but once that all dies out, then what you got? It got to
Yeah,
be more.
yeah. Us ladies, we get caught off by these gray sweatpants.
Well, I guess the dudes, they have the sundresses. So,
This, hmm yeah. So we live in a really hypersexual world, right? And so we're so quick to get to that stage of like having a sexual relationship with someone that we just kind of fast forward everything else. We don't take our time to really develop. We don't take time to do our research, and develop a relationship with someone, because we only live once. We got to find our person. I'm tired of being a single. So it's like we fast forward without doing all the work in the beginning of a relationship.
and sometimes we actually see this whenever we start seeing the people that's divorced at the 1 year mark, or they get annoyed after 30 days or something, because once that honeymoon phase is over with, then what? So
I have to share like a personal story, like just
uh-oh.
about fast forwarding. It ain't that bad. But like when I met my husband, we're military, we just out here dating, and met him January 28th, my birthday. We get together. 2 weeks later, he's like on deployment. We've only been in each other's physical presence 2 weeks. He goes on a deployment for like 5.5 months. He comes back month later. We're instant family because I'm pregnant, right? So it's like I ain't met this man's family.
Nothing.
I did I know his even middle name? Like, look, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite meal? Are what was your past life like? It was so fast forward. And now it's like, here we are having to have the responsibility now, not even of a relationship. We are parents. We're about to be somebody's parents. And so the dynamics and things just ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like, and here we are starting a relationship after having kids. You know what I'm saying? So,
But and what's they got the new show out. What's that? 90 Days.
90
You know,
Day Fiance.
yeah. They got shows like that out, and a lot of people, a
Married
lot of
at First Sight.
Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
But they use that time right there instead of that research portion of the date. They'll take that right there and they researching and developing at the same time.
Life after lockup. Is that love
Yeah.
after lockup?
So, but whenever them relationships don't last, it's just like, well, you didn't know what to expect, but we just gonna blindly go into it. For spiritual people, I understand faith, but at the same time,
Yeah.
we need a little bit more faith. We need to understand what's going on in this one right here.
Yeah.
Miss Wise put on there. She said buffness. Hey, for whatever reason, when people hook up, I mean, everybody have a different thing on the reason why they hook up with somebody. Could be they smile, could be the way they smelled that day, whatever. Uh, let's see. What does the work include? What does that look like? Spiritual, family, relationship, aspiration, thoughts. So, what does the work include? Personally, the work include, of course, we're gonna use the big C word, communication. And with that, with communication, meaning asking those right questions, which Miss Wise, you kind of helping me out with the show right now, because I'm gonna go ahead and share this right here. And oh man, it's the wrong one.
Come on now,
I
Marantha.
know. Hey, audio difficulties. All right. Here we go. Did that one show up?
It didn't come through.
There we go. So, we started talking about those. What do we need to what do we need to be asking these questions right here? So I got this from TD Jakes, and I thought they were some pretty good questions. Uh, Talk about what your expectations are. What are your most prized possessions? Whenever you start talking about prized possessions, you start looking at it and be like, what does this person really value? Do they value? Are they valuing family? Are they valuing cars, jobs, whatever it is? Where do you stand on the faith? There's the question. They say two people shouldn't be unequally yoked. Yeah, together. But at the same time, if both of y'all share some type of some commonality in the beliefs in your belief system, that kind of helps you out a lot of things. What are your ideas about sexuality? Uh, how many times have we done seen stuff like that go out the window because you probably have one like you mentioned, a hypersexual person, then you have a person who's not as much. How does that usually end out? That's whenever you start having those uh going outside of 10 other people. And
Open relationships. Like, what is the ideal on monogamy? People define that different ways. And some people like, what is marriage? Is that just a piece of paper? Is that law? Yeah.
and yet again, that's some of the stuff. Now here, this is one I think we don't even talk about a lot. Uh, do you know what your status is about HIV or AIDS? I mean, of course, back in the day, that was a real big thing. But now, here it is. Now it's not even talked about. I don't know. I guess now we probably say, well, what's your COVID status? Or did you get the shot or did you not get the shot? That's probably one of the things that'll come up now. What are the secrets that you keep? and will you trust me to keep them? And
Mm.
that could be, you know, those family secrets that we didn't held in for you know, a certain amount of time. Some might have happened to me while I was younger, and I probably never told nobody. So now, can I really trust you with that secret now?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been arrested? Do you have a criminal record? Hey,
You can look that up. That's free. You can Google that. Okay.
hey, but at the same time, though, how many people wouldn't do that? Some people wouldn't even think it like that to do something like that because you know you trust in this person.
No,
Like you said,
nowadays, no. That's like before the first date. Look, we Googling you, seeing your arrest records, what's your credit score? Do you have a bank account?
all right, do you have children or other children outside of a marriage? Hey,
And not that I know of is not an answer.
why it's not an answer? I
Not
mean,
that I know of.
that's the
You should
truth.
know. You should know.
Hey, how many times people be looking for people for 20 years and they start doing all these genes assessments and all this other stuff and be like, so you are my Paul. Folks probably didn't know.
So is body count on here?
Body count?
Yeah.
No,
Is that a question on here? Cause
close. It was close to it.
mm,
How do you feel about having children? Of course, you like you said that shouldn't be no first date quick type question right there, but it
mm,
should be a question that was asked. What are the roles of a husband and a wife for you? You know, cause guess what? Some people still believe that the woman should be in the kitchen.
mm,
What's the old thing? Barefoot and pregnant.
mm.
And then some dudes out here figure they don't even need to work. They got the wife out there that's a breadwinner, and I'm just gonna sit up here and play video games all day, and
Oh
then
my
you come home.
gosh. It's a
Uh,
true story for so many. Oh my God.
I can believe it.
And they get to sit at home because of them gray sweatpants. That's why we allow it.
Hey, but yet again, after them gray sweatpants, what happens after that? Let's see. What role do you see your parents? What role do you see your parents, siblings, and extended family playing in your relationship?
Oh, that's a good one.
And that one right there, that was we had a comment on that. Laugh out loud. So and that's a big one too because if like I was if you're a single parent, I mean a single child, if you're a single child, and what happens whenever you meet somebody who has a bigger family, and you know they sitting up here bringing all their stuff in here from that side of the family, and you as the only child, like, hey man, I'm not used to all this. I'm not used to everybody being in my business like this. So that right there is one of those things that can really play a factor in there.
Yeah, it's like considering like family of origin issues, generational curses, generational trauma. Is that all can have an influence, impact your relationship.
Miss Wise put back on there. I check the background before I share my number sometimes.
See,
but,
Miss
but
Wise is
sometimes,
doing the research. She doing her research.
but you said before you share the number sometimes. But I mean, that's like how you get back in contact with that person though.
Look, if it was meant to be,
They'll come back around.
yeah.
Uh, oh, and the other thing is, whenever we start talking about that family dynamic, you know, how close are you with your with your family? Because a lot of people like to share different information with their family
Hmm.
about the relationship, and which sometimes they can cause issues, uh, and then cause a wedge in between there. So you know, you have to kind of be careful on that one right there.
And
How
that's
do you?
just how you relate to people. Like if you can't resolve conflict, or you know you don't show love, and you have a hateful manner, or that's just characteristic of you. Yeah, that's kind of observing what's going on with their dynamics, how they would treat you.
Well, we go back to that restaurant, those restaurant scenes, and how this person is driving, and how they perceiving and doing different things, to other people. Because yet again, it's gonna come, that right there is wind up coming back on you. If this person is mad all the time, but then on that date they come in there and be like, "Oh, life is good." Yeah, okay then, but it's all good.
You
Oh,
know,
and
going
but
back to what Miss Ann Wise was saying, like, like like now people are getting creative. Dates aren't just, a first, like a dinner. It's like, being creative, getting out there hiking, doing something else. Like these days, people are getting, in the words of City Girls, flued out, getting flown out, and extended vacations and doing all of that.
so we started talking about that grass on green on the other side, because like I said, we did want to have people that's in relationships, join into the conversation as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, we start talking about those grass being on green on the other side for whatever reason. So we'll just say, we start talking about that sexual portion of it. One person is ready and willing to go, and then the other person is not as much. So whenever they do go find somebody else that's on the opposite side over there, it's like, okay, then that person has showed you every good thing that's possibly imaginable, during that time whenever you was, creeping on the other side over there. But then what happens whenever you jump in and be like, all right, it's me and you now. Now you have to sit there and deal with all the other stuff. You know, you weren't considering the bills being paid. You weren't considering, you know, they kids or your kids and all this other stuff. So I mean, another thing have to be sent up there, be cautious of.
Mm-hmm.
And says stuff is online these days. A bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How satisfied are you with your present career? Oh, I skipped one. What is your vision for this family? What would you like to be in 10 to 20 years? I'm a goal setter. So, and especially in the life coaching business, that's what I thrive on, people and their goals. So that right there is an excellent question for me, because if you ain't got no goals for yourself, and then you trying to go into a family wise type thing,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we in a bad situation already.
Yeah. I would probably narrow that down, like 10 to 20. That seems a little, like, think of like some more short term. Like, look, do you see me in your life? Am I still gonna be around in the next 3 to 5? Like, yeah, I would probably shorten that to, like, where you see yourself in 3 to 5 years versus 10 to 20. Like, am I wasting my time right now? Do I need to move on? Like,
I don't see us in 10 to 20 years together. In 2 or 3 years, yes. And then how satisfied are you with your present career? That's a big one right there, because especially now during this day and age, a lot of people are doing they're swapping their careers out. Now,
mhm.
if you're a habitual career swapper, I need to know that as well. Because if you're a truck driver today and then you're a baker in 2 weeks, and next thing you know, you're finna switch over to become an electrician the next one.
Mhm.
Hey, what is your timeline on not having jobs? So
And do you change your bed sheets and your drawers and your women or men as you change your jobs? Because people changing jobs like every what,
like
18 months to 2 years, they switching over. Yeah.
let's see, what is your debt to income ratio? Now that's a big one, because most people like, well, what's your credit score? No, you can have a perfect credit score,
Mm.
or you can have a bunch of money in the bank, but if you don't know how to maintain and manage, then we got a problem. That one show we did, whenever we had when we had our two realtors
Financial
on here.
literacy.
Yeah, and they brought that topic up with, hey, look, I got people who have making $30,000-$40,000 a year, and they can get this house. This other person make $100,000 a year, and they can't get no house because they debt to income ratio is bad. So that's a good one to ask. And then here you go, Stephanie. What if you ask that question? The person be like, "What are you talking about?"
We got a problem.
And I'm kind of I'm just kind of basing this off of people of an older age, but I mean because of course we know school's not even teaching anything like this anywhere close
Mhm.
to it. So you would hope through life experiences people will understand this stuff. So I would say if you're 25 and above, I would hope you would know about this information. And instead of probably getting into a relationship, maybe you need to be looking some stuff up for your own self so you can understand.
Mhm.
Well, let's see. Is there any need or desire for a prenuptial agreement? Now, that you shaking your head, no?
Who balling? I think I brought up like a stat like during our financial literacy, like only 6% of Americans are making $100,000 or more a year. So what are we needing prenups for?
Hey, you never know. What if you what if you got that lottery winning? How many new friends do you have?
Oh, I'm gonna remain single
Oh, money
for a
can't buy
while.
love. Money can't buy love.
Mm-mm.
Do you have a will or a living will, and can we talk about it? I think that's a little farther down thing.
Yeah, we trying to get in a relationship, not consider when you dead and gone. Like,
But you know what? It's that proper planning, though. To understand it, what it is, and what's going on with it, and then what annoys you the most about me, and what do you enjoy most about being with me?
do you
That
like me? Yeah, that's the question.
well, I don't know. Whenever if we getting past the depending on what stage we in, we better be past the like stage.
You
Miss
know
White.
what? Sometimes relationships, it is not necessarily based on love. It could be convenience.
Oh yeah, easily. But
Easily.
what happens with convenience though?
It becomes inconvenient.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Miss Wise also put on a yes. You best be a good money manager to even be considered. They say
Miss
they
Wise is on it. She's like,
hey they said they are money wise. They found somebody that got money and they know how to spend your money. So
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
but
Yeah, I think we all have like relationship goals, whether that's, we want to be in a serious relationship. We want that relationship to be monogamous. We want to get married. We just want to have connectedness or intimacy. But a lot of us have not had like those honest conversations about what healthy relationships look like. We haven't had the conversation, nor has healthy relationships been modeled for us, for most of us. And so when we have relationship goals, they can sometimes be like distorted or very unrealistic,
uh,
and how we state in those expectations. We,
what do you think that come from though? Just the lack of people of having good relationships that's out there.
yeah, I think it's just people not being able to really define what healthy is. Some people think like, oh, the obvious, like infidelity, toxic, domestic violence. But like some people don't understand like silent treatment, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, just the dynamics in which things just don't work well. People aren't wanting to start over. They're not wanting to work through their relationship issues. So then the outcome of that is just unhealthy relationships being modeled for kids, friends, other family. So I think we just don't have an actual definition of what a healthy relationship is. Like, you can't define it. I think if you were to say, like, what's a healthy relationship? What would your answer be?
What what I would define as a healthy relationship, I would say one involves the communication piece, and one that goes in, and instead of saying we going 50-50 in, we going 100-100 in here. And meaning I'm putting all mine in here and you need to be putting all yours in there. That's what a healthy relationship. And it is, and the also I would say the fact of wherever my weaknesses are, as long as the other person compliments me to say, okay, then I understand you weak in this area. So we talking about that money thing. If I'm a weak
Mhm.
budgeter and I love to spend money, I would hope that other person is just the opposite of me, who can help me learn how to maybe budget my money, or maybe help me not spend my money. And to
Or
me, that's
or you're not gonna get a after that first or second date, you're not gonna get another date. So it ain't gonna be
well,
a conversation.
well, you ain't gonna have a different, you ain't gonna have another conversation or another date because you ain't got no more money.
Because we don't went to the Golden Arches for the first, second, and third date.
And the third date,
And the third date.
and we started getting the same Happy Meal.
Sharing, yeah, sharing it.
Hey, they say sharing is caring. All right, so let's see. And another thing, I think another thing that we, whenever we in the dating world, is we always trying to compare somebody to our last person, and
Mhm.
instead of trying to let that person be that person, we have to sit up here and think, well, Johnny used to say the same thing to me, or Sheila used to say this and do this, and I was tired of this. All right, so instead of you harboring on those feelings of whatever that was, why don't you grow from it, learn from it, and then move on? And I think a lot of people use that, and I'm gonna use this one. I'll let you steal this term. People use this as an emotional condom.
Mm.
They sit and wrap themselves in here and keep their emotions, and then they so it's deflected. So I'm not gonna share who I am with nobody else because this person did this right here to me. And
Mhm.
what happens? Once you become such a guarded person, how can somebody get in with you?
And
So
that's why I think singleness is very necessary. You know what I'm saying? Before you start a new relationship, give yourself a period of singleness. Whether you're starting a before starting a new relationship or even on a break from a relationship, you know, um, individuals have to have that conversation with themselves. Singleness is a time for you to like self-regulate your emotions. It's to really protect your peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Um, and during singleness, that's where you make yourself a priority. That personal growth, that's what you're talking about, personal growth. Knowing what you learned in those relationships with people, and kind of taking those experiences as teaching moments. Singleness is about maintenance and healing, mind, body, and spirit. It's like a physical, emotional um, detox. We all need to experience that.
and I think on our first show when we was talking about relationships, again, just like how you brought that point up, if you don't know who you are, how are you going to expect, what is your expectations from us, from somebody else? So if we discussed a little bit about love languages. If I'm a person who need to be held all the time, and I'm sitting up here trying to express this to somebody else, but I really don't know that that's what I need, and this person just continue to buy me flowers, or you continue to do this for me, that we go back to that expectation thing. I'm still
Mhm.
upset with you because I just needed to be held. But if I don't know how to communicate or verbalize that to you, and say this is my expectation, then you'll never fulfill my need. And whenever you can't fulfill that need, what happens? You out. It's time for you. It's time for you to bounce.
As I would say, take care.
Thank you for the little time that we did share together. It's time to move on, though.
Go be with the Most High. Yeah. Yeah. Because when I say take care, it's a wrap.
So you got to think about the person you want to become, and then whom you need to associate with to become that person. You know, a lot of people, like you mentioned, a lot of people jump into something, and since you don't know what you want, and you thinking you found that in somebody else, sometimes that's coming off as being real bad for you and that other person. Because all of us only have so much time left on this crazy world, stolen from Outcasts. So so I mean, we got to understand. We have to understand, into that relationship, what you have to know what you want at the end of the day, and so you can go and project that to somebody else. And if you don't, then like I said, you just sit up there wasting time. And also, you
Well,
got to.
it's about you being easily influenced. If you don't know what you want and then you just move into something, meaning like move into a relationship with someone without really having a foundation or just solidify what your needs are and your expectations, then you can easily be influenced out of those needs and expectations being met. That's meaning you'll take every excuse. It's a lack. Think of it as having a lack of consideration for yourself.
Mm. Hey, and we all supposed to love ourselves, right? And how are we gonna love ourselves if we don't even know what love is
Well,
or
you're
what to
going into
expect?
a relationship with a deficit of love and respect
Yeah.
for yourself. Love, trust, and respect for yourself. Because that says you don't love yourself because you can't trust your own gut instincts.
So would you say you shouldn't join a relationship if there's no value added into that relationship?
You got to bring something to the table too. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect someone, you just don't show up to a feast, right? You got
So
to bring something.
yeah, I'm gonna bring a hungry stomach. That's what I'm gonna bring.
You know what? And guess what? You don't get the big piece of chicken when you do that. You don't get the big piece. You don't deserve the big piece of chicken.
Hey, that's fine because I got a to-go container. I'm taking everything.
You probably one of them that bring that what's a off-brand soda? Uh,
A Fago,
that's
RC,
you.
and I'm gonna walk out there with this big old thing.
Yeah, two plates.
Hey,
Two plates. You walking out with two plates. No.
Pam
Mm-mm.
put her this. I usually get this sign from Pam a lot, and then she said he don't deserve to eat. But
Look, no, he gonna be sitting at the little kids' table. You know where they put the kids? You can't even sit with the you over there.
but you know what? If you think about it, though, that's how some people can show up into a relationship, though. You know, whenever we were sitting up there talking about, the gray sweatpants or the sundresses, this person right here probably got nothing.
That print can be deceiving.
Right. And they ain't got nothing. And say you a breadwinner.
Literally. Mm-hmm.
And if you the breadwinner and now you inviting this person in, that's the same thing. I ain't got nothing to offer you except this. And bam. And whenever you get there and realize what's going on, now you've been deceived. And that's just like me coming to your house to get that food. I say, yeah, I'm bringing drinks. I brought this little watered down Kool-Aid, and I'm finna get and walk out of here with all this food.
Yeah, that's like waking up in the morning and your house been robbed. Who left the door?
So I mean, relationships. I mean, it goes the same way. So whenever we start talking about that research and then the development part of it, because I see we got about 15 more minutes. So whenever we start looking at that development part of it, we have to start realizing not only did since we did our research up front, we know what this person is. So now we have to learn how to maintain those relationships. So people that's in relationships now, sometimes you got to learn how to prune certain things away in order to continue having a good relationship. And then other people just need to learn how to fertilize they relationships. And you can fertilize your way. A lot of people start talking about having date nights and stuff. I don't know. I didn't even look up any numbers. I know the COVID didn't happen. People was in the house a lot more. I don't know how many people got divorced because they've seen that person way too much. But it had happened.
Business went up for me. It's like couples show up and they like, yeah, we're both working from home. We don't like each other. We just realized that we do not like each other. And I don't like this feeling. So yeah.
And then you have to sit and my first question is like, all right, then so I understand what changed and y'all spending more time, but what brought y'all together in the first place? Because I'm quite sure, did y'all not do y'all research at the beginning to find out if y'all was gonna be compatible to be sitting in the house all the time with each other?
High likelihood they did not do the research.
So now how do you keep it together? And I guess for them, it's that pruning. We don't keep it together. We just gonna move out.
Because then the conversation shifts from how do we stay in this relationship? It's about this is like a starting fresh. This is not restoration. Meaning we're not going to go back to what we had. We're not trying to restore that. We're trying to forgive and reconcile, start afresh. And that's how we work on that. Understanding that we're not going back to what we're familiar with. This is a whole new process, starting with a friendship. And this is like where you start to I need to do research on my partner, my married partner. I got to do research on.
So
And
that
it could be simple conversation. What is your favorite color, by the way?
so
Oh,
so you need some forgiveness in there.
yeah. Like with Marcus, 15 years, I was making taco salad once a week for 15 years. This Negro say, I don't like taco salad.
I'm just putting up with this.
Eating it. Like, he's like, one day he just had it. I don't like taco salad. It's a no for me. 15 years.
Wow.
Routine meal. Bruh, you should have said something.
And so yet again, when we start talking about that development and how often in a relationship, I mean, and especially, I answer the same question. That routine, once that routine sets in, so then, especially like people that got kids or whatever, all right, most people they'll stay in because of the kids. Once the kids are gone, now what do we have that's gonna keep us together?
You know what? Married couples hardly ever make the marriage a priority. After the ceremony, being together, having kids, other things take priority. Career, children, the extended family. So they never make the relationship, the marriage, the priority. They really don't.
So
some people get married and don't even realize they've had been single for so long or so independent that they fail to even recognize that I have a partner now. Some people still have a singleness mindset in a relationship?
Well, some people just are meant to be single. You know, it's a fantasy that they might have. It's a fantasy that some people have about being married. And you know, you could be a great dater, but whenever
Serial
actually,
dater?
yeah, but when it comes to actual marriage, it's just not there. I mean, I'm quite sure there's a lot of people out there. I mean, of course, being a serial dater, you know, you probably spend a lot of money and spending a lot of different time uh, and efforts with different people. But some people, that's what they need. They would rather be able to do that than just to sit there and just sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna focus my time and efforts with you, with this one person. And that right there need to be discussed, because what if you do enter that and 2 months down the road, this person back out here serial dating again, and while you sitting here looking crazy.
Just sitting on the couch looking ugly.
Tears rolling down your eyes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Miss Y said there are a lot of COVID babies now.
Hmm.
Then Miss Schwartz said put laugh out loud on there. Hey, that's a true statement. Now the problem is COVID is over with. COVID is over with. Now what? You got
Look,
all
and,
these,
and
these
and are they
babies.
having are these married couples having COVID babies or entanglements, situationships? We just talking. Uh, I don't know her. I don't know him. Yeah. Mm-mm.
So you know what? Let's go, man. And I'm gonna ask the audience this as well. So what do you? Whenever we start talking about, you know, the sexuality, the sexual nature of dating and stuff,
Mhm.
when does that happen? I know everybody have their own different timeline. You know, I think that was Steve Harvey. He had his book out,
Was it
and
90 days?
I think so. It was something like that. And you know, for some that's a good thing. For others, they'd be like, "Hey, man." Yet again, we go back to that same point that you know what, if you want to put me on hold for 90 days, that's cool with me. But I didn't say we was exclusive, so I can do whatever I want to do over here. And then after my 90 days, then I guess we can become, you know, we can join hands at that time. We good. But
We
that's
can
one of
spoon. Hmm.
yeah, you know, so that's one of them things that you have to talk about. And then another question is it is it right for a woman to pay for the meal whenever you go on a date? That
That's okay.
so is they and
I mean,
I
I
heard
don't know how the ladies would agree with that, but I got my own. So, I, look, I'm gonna order what I want on no menu. I don't need no We don't need to talk about what I can get.
well,
Yeah.
I did see this one thing. This woman was mad at the guy. They went on a date, and
Hmm.
she was right at the end of the date. She was like, she said, "Can I see the menu again?" Because she wanted to order some food for the kids. She had kids at the house, and she wanted to get food for them. And she got mad that the dude was like, "Hey, I took you on a date, not you and the kids." And so, of course, that was the end of that date. And then, so you
Well,
know,
why she didn't feed her kids before she went to go to anybody's date?
hey, she felt that the kids, you know how they say we a package, we all come together.
But not on no first or second or third date. He is not the pappy. So, like, baby, you know what? You should have made them kids a priority before you even walked out and got in this car.
Expectations.
Oh, well, you can order them something to go. That'll be 2 checks.
Thank you.
Sorry, ladies. I don't know how y'all feel about that. No.
Nobody commented that, so we'll wait and see what type of comments come in there. But yeah,
What do you think men think about celibacy? Just like through the whole dating period, we're just gonna practice celibacy.
I think it all depends on the type of person that you're dealing with. Because men gonna be just like women. Whenever we've met and I told you, and we had conversations about sex, and you know, and if the lady says, I'm celibate and I don't plan on doing this till marriage, that to me is a clear signal. But then you still have guys that's out there who like to be like, oh, this is a challenge. I'm gonna see what I can do. And then whenever that challenge is not accepted or you don't get what you're supposed to, then guess what? That person's gonna be out of there. And I'd rather have truth up front than wait down the line.
Now I'm reading Miss Nancy Edwards' comment. Practice till married.
Till
Does that
married.
mean practice? Keep to put sex into practice, or just hold off until, or practice celibacy until marriage?
My mom. This is like one of my mom. She gave me like one or two pieces of advice. She told me don't just because God said be fruitful and multiply. She's like, son, he was not speaking directly to you, so it's okay. Let other people do that.
Let
And then
everybody else have a turn. Yeah.
and then the other piece of advice she gave me was she said don't go out there she said everybody started looking at people like a car. They want to test drive everything before they can pick which car that they gonna have. But if everybody did that, instead of you saying you got this new car, how's it new if it's been driven so many times?
It ain't got that new car smell.
Yeah.
It's smelling like Marlboro.
So at the same time, whenever we out here doing our thing, hey, I'm not getting into everybody else the perspective on things like that, but you have to think about that. Of course they say if a man is out there doing his thing with 20 people, he a pimp or he a Mac daddy. And then I dated myself on that one. But then a woman, she gonna be considered a hoe or something like that. Well, it's
She
both.
wrong for that.
Yeah,
She
he right.
wrong.
I can't believe that. But at the same time, people would be like, oh, well, she's not really wrong for it, or he's not really wrong for it. They got to make sure they compatible. And can you be compatible with one time? So it's just so much out there.
That's a whole nother
Yeah,
topic we can cover.
Oh, and Nancy she said, hold on to your love.
Hold on.
I can't with you. Oh man.
Yeah.
The other thing I have to so we got about 2 minutes. So another thing that I'll have to say is, men, please, men, a woman, a strong woman, don't want no weak guy. So you can put that in so many different ways. They want masculinity. And I understand whatever society, what we got going on, but most women want somebody that they can depend on and be there for them. So, anybody you can.
And a lot of women tend to emasculate men.
Yes. So, just putting that out there. So, everybody want to be respected at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And whatever respect mean to you, hopefully you can find that out. So, if you know yourself, then I hope you can grow and be that person that somebody need to lean on and all that other good stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and be confident in yourself. I think and whenever we start talking about being, a strong man or a strong woman, I think that's what I really want to get put out there. Be confident in yourself. So whatever your abilities are, as far as maybe the your wife, girlfriend, or whoever, maybe she make more than you. Well, that's cool. I want my other person, my better half, to make more than me. It's not gonna hurt me. If we in this thing together, hey, we're gonna combine our money. We're gonna do what we got to do. So, but I would be confident enough to not to go out there and be like, I can't believe this. Sometimes you got to learn how to humble yourself sometimes. And some people don't want to be humble in that fact. So we have hit our time.
Yeah.
So what you want to leave everybody with?
Yeah. Yeah, just trust in the process of you. Always bet on yourself. I'm always saying start with you. Start with self. Trust in that gut instinct, trust in, be confident in what you stand for and what the expectations you have, how you want to relate to others. So always start with you. Before entering in a relationship, get to know you. Learn to relate to yourself. Experience some singleness. That can be a good thing.
It'd be a great thing. Don't sit there and drag somebody else down in your pity party because you don't know what you want.
What Tabitha Brown say? What was her saying? You know who I'm talking about? Tabitha Brown, Afro, the vegan lady, vegan food lady. She has this saying like, uh, if you're having a bad day, don't go ruin somebody else's. So there
But
you
misery loves company, though.
go. It does. Yeah. Don't get sucked into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So next week's show, we don't really know what we're gonna be discussing, but as long as you look at the promo, we will have something out there on our next big topic. I do want to put out there, if you are an entrepreneur or looking at getting into the entrepreneur business ship, please give me a shout out, because what we want to start doing, I think we're gonna, in probably the next couple weeks to a month, that's what one of the things that we're gonna start looking at, the entrepreneurs that's out there, and giving them a platform that they can come on here and talk about what they do, and maybe give some words of wisdom to other people that's going to be in that same career field. So please give me a shout out. You can hit me up at speaktomyheartlifecoach@gmail.com, or if you go to the website Speak to My Heart Life Coaching, you can go to the website and then make a comment on there as well. So everybody, with that being said, I will leave you with this. One who asks questions is a fool for 5 minutes. One who does not ask questions remain a fool forever. So I hope this webcast allowed you to examine your perspective and ideas and philosophies and challenge you on how you live amongst others. So this has been another edition of the Door to Expansion webcast, and hate it. I really hate it that this relationship topic is over with and we have to go, but we got to. So we out of here. Show enough.